What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here, managing editor of Fightful.com. Brought the headband back. It's beauty. Goes perfectly with my Fightful t-shirt, which you all can pick up at prowrestlingtees.com/Fightful. Of course, we have links up on Fightful.com as well. Monday Night Raw to talk about tonight. It is the December 4th edition. We're 1 month away now from Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan. We have a post show covering that. I have a post show for the upcoming Ring of Honor Final Battle show on December 15th. That's a big weekend, also Clash of Champions weekend. But this past week, we had a ton of UFC 218 coverage. I mean, probably more than any website out there. We did a phenomenal job. Big shout out to my team, especially James Lynch, who was there on the scene getting that info. And it's not just MMA stuff. We had a lot of pro wrestling related stuff, which you all can see on our YouTube. You can see the article. Sergio Pettis talking about CM Punk. Michelle Watterson talking about maybe getting into wrestling. Henry Cejudo, who was actually pegged as kind of like one of Vince McMahon's targeted Mexican stars. Didn't work out. He talks about that experience. We'll have the videos of that on the Listen Ya Boy Wednesday as well as tons of stuff on the Holy Smokes MMA podcast. Definitely check that out. We had a lot of work there. Looks like we're going to be doing a lot more of that in the near future. But it is WWE Raw time. I thought this show in the ring, probably the first couple of hours, just outstanding wrestling. Last match was pretty good as well. I've got Alex Pawlowski here to talk with us about it, rather. Alex, what'd you think of this Raw tonight?
This was a great way to start out the month of December. What a great Christmas present for everybody who loves wrestling and for everybody who loves broken/woken Matt Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that because that was like one of my favorite things, not even in wrestling, just like of all time. Like I was so happy.
We're going to talk. I've got a little bit of extra info on that as well, so we will talk about that later. I did a news update. Chris Jericho will not be at WrestleMania 34. He is booked in New Hampshire, Alex, the day of that show. Now, he does like to troll people and like kind of put fake dates, fake venues maybe. That is a real venue. Tickets go on sale Friday. I will be making sure that tickets do actually go on sale. Schedule's clear through January, February, so you never know what he could show up and do then, but either way, he's not going to be at WrestleMania, it appears. Also, guys, before I get done with the plugs, head over to our forum. I've got an AMA, an Ask Me Anything post over on our forum. Right now, we've got a ton of people on the site, so it may be kind of slow. Our tech team is working hard to fix that. But I want to thank you guys so much for the support. Let's talk about WWE Raw. Alex, I love this opening segment. I thought that this was just unbelievable stuff. Let me walk you all through it. Kurt Angle comes out to preview the night's matches. Jason Jordan interrupts him, wants a shot at Reigns, and he was being a sniveling child, Alex.
I'm not in love with Jason Jordan as a performer. You know, like he's got a lot to work on in that way. Not in ring. Solid. Totally solid. As an actor, a little bit to be desired. But the character that he is working right now is really interesting. Like, I mean, he's this spoiled brat. He's the coach's kid who believes he should start because he's the coach's kid.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not great because he's really good. But he's not the best guy on the team. But he thinks he is. You know what I mean? Like it's just really, really nuanced. And I like that he's got some heel and babyface tendencies, particularly how he works in the ring.
He's the kick returner that thinks he should be the number one wide receiver.
Yes. No, I really, really love this character work that they're doing with it. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well, he is a heat magnet, Alex. Like, my God, is he really is. Reigns comes out after Jason Jordan says that he wants Reigns. I love their dialogue here. Roman Reigns and like Roman Reigns saying, get up and earn it, and Jason Jordan calling him out on that. And like here's the situation, Alex. It's like Reigns did have a lot of that stuff handed to him, but by now he has earned it. So you can play both sides of that. Like he did put in 7 years of work, and he is really good now, and he does deserve that spot. But when he got it, he didn't. So Jason Jordan can point at that and say, no, you don't. No, you don't. Reigns says that Jordan's begging his daddy for favors. Then Reigns says that he wants Joe. Joe comes out, cuts a promo threatening Reigns, and then Jordan steps up. And I love Roman Reigns' demeanor here. It was the stay in your lane demeanor that retained throughout this show, and I liked it a lot. They both dismissed Jason Jordan, and Jason Jordan wasn't having any of that. Suplexed Roman Reigns overhead, goading him into the match. I loved this. I thought that Jason Jordan hung with two main event guys on the mic and then would go on to do it physically as well. That says a lot. Now, I have spoken about this. I spoke about this on Twitter. I hope that with at least two guys right now, Elias, Jason Jordan, proven they can get the heat, proven they can do it in the ring. I hope WWE doesn't see that and say, oh, well, then they'll be good no matter what we do to them. Because we saw that with the dashing Cody Rhodes. We saw that with a Wade Barrett. We saw it with a Bad News Barrett. We saw it with a Big E to an extent, where he was working with a guy who had the world championship a couple months before, just flushed down the toilet. We saw it with Drew McIntyre. We saw it with a lot of people in that era, or Rusev. We saw it with a lot of guys, so I hope that doesn't happen. But that segment led into a match which, damn, these guys are going to have a ton of good matches over the next decade, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, if Roman is not working Braun, I hope he's working Jason Jordan, because this was great. In-ring was fantastic. You tweeted out that he's the heel who works babyface in the ring, and that's really interesting. And, you know, Roman is insufferable. His character is insufferable.
Would you say that he is insufferable succotash?
I walked right into that one. No, but seriously, like, this guy is like, you know, like, yes, we realize you're really good, but do you have to be such a dick about it? Like that guy, you know what I mean? And we haven't gotten to it yet, but like, yeah, this guy that you just beat, who pushed you to your absolute limit, and then he saves your ass from being choked out, and then you punch him in the face because you're Roman Reigns and you do whatever you want. And I mean, at least he's consistent. Like, he's an insufferable dick at all times. Yeah. And somehow, in spite of myself, I like him more because of it.
So let's talk about this match. It was awesome. Samoa Joe is seated at ringside in a rather intimidating manner. Like, he's pulled up like Elliot Stabler and SVU interrogating somebody, chair backwards, just like, admit to it, I got to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Get us out of here. Jordan applied a rather different kind of armbar. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. It was applied a different way. I'm not going to say it's a wrong way, because anything can be applied a right way almost. He has a great out-of-nowhere drop kick that he lands that I think is only going to get better. Then he catches Reigns midair outside the ring and breaks Roman Reigns' ass.
Yep.
Repeatedly. I'm talking like just broke that ass all up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Broke his butt, Alex.
He broke his butt. That didn't look like it felt really good, particularly the second one. Like the spear and then staggering backwards into the into the stapes. My dad used to call that the sacroiliac. I have no idea if that's an actual term. I'm pretty sure it is. It's like the lower part of where the back meets the butt. But my dad would say, "Oh, you fell on your sacroiliac," and I have no idea if that was a real thing. But that's where he hit him.
It can be worse sometimes, man. You got those. Goddamn, what are they called? Whatever. Either way, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter right now. It tells quite a story, I think, within the match that Roman Reigns, who is without a doubt perceived as top guy on the show, had to resort to attacking Jason Jordan's injured knee to get a leg up in this match. No pun intended. Jason Jordan's selling of this knee was nothing short of phenomenal.
It's great.
Jason Jordan kicked and then immediately sold the leg. and then hit a rolling Northern Light suplex, but he couldn't bridge on that knee. It was too painful. So his leg was up in the air, and Corey Graves helped really drive it home. Had he been able to use both of those legs, he was probably going to win this. The visual of Jason Jordan's leg just dangling in the air because he couldn't bridge on it, I thought that was awesome. That kicked ass.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, everything he was doing as far as the story that we're telling in the match, his selling. I love his suplexes. Those rolling, bridging Northern Light suplexes are never going to get old for me. They're just not. I mean, it's super cool, and I'm really high on this guy as an in-ring performer. And now that they seem to have found a sweet spot for his character to stay in, like we'll talk about this later, but the way he also now treats Dad backstage is also really cool. And I don't know if they'll ever really nail the performance, but I love where the character is headed, and I'm into it.
Jason Jordan went 20 minutes with Roman Reigns, and it ruled. By the way, guys, I'll have my match ratings for all these shows up at 6 a.m. as I do every Tuesday and Wednesday following Raw and SmackDown. After the match, Superman punch spear over, by the way. After the match, Joe attacks Reigns, and Jordan saves him, only to get punched by Reigns. Like I said, he was in full stay-in-your-lane mode with Jordan this entire time.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a very interesting thing. I haven't – usually the dude who just got beat and then there's a run-in on the guy who beat him, he's either, like, you know, supposed to be out on the side of the ring or he's headed to the back, and he never gets involved. I like that he got involved, and I like that it only served to piss off both men, the guy he saved and the guy he saved him from. This, I mean, if we're headed toward like a triple threat program, that match could be really all kinds of excellent. And, you know, like Jason Jordan is in the position where he can take the fall and it won't hurt him.
God, I'm so ready for Jordan to eliminate them both in the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's also another thing. It's great.
I would love it.
Like Samoa Joe can pin or submit Jason Jordan to become IC champ to take the belt off Roman, and that way Roman doesn't have to lose headed into his feud with Brock Lesnar. Because I don't think they want him to lose, even though they want him to not have, from what I've heard, he's not supposed to have the belt when he faces Brock. So that's one great way of getting off of him.
So backstage, I love this too. Jason Jordan's back there telling Kurt Angle that he has to give him a chance against Joe. And Kurt Angle yells at him. He's like, I don't have to give you shit. I don't know you shit. And then Joe, who heard this, found Jason Jordan and attacked him. And maybe my favorite line, Joe looks at Kurt and says, like father, like son, huh, Kurt? I love that. That ruled. That was a great callback that maybe Vince didn't even know about. Maybe a Vince McMahon doesn't know about, but Samoa Joe just threw in there. And that's just me speculating. I do not know. But if so, A+, my man. Great callback because there are people who know that history.
Yeah, no, I mean, for those of you who don't know the history, I'm sure you can find some of this stuff on YouTube if you don't have the whatever.
Find it on the WWE Network in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's true. Joe and Angle had some friggin' barn burners in TNA. These guys murdered each other on the regular. And the callback to that, for those of us who know about the history and are jazzed to have that kind of a thing, the continuity from Fed to Fed is pretty awesome. And what I wanted to know was just how hard that wall was that Jason Jordan got knocked into, because the sound did not sound forgiving. It did not sound like drywall. That sounded like concrete.
Yeah,
that was nuts. But I also just love hey, you cool off, because it's a great thing. That is the absolute thing that the dad coach says to the son athlete. You know, not really reprimanding him, just like, hey man, you need to cool off. hit the showers. I want him to tell him to hit the showers. Like it's such a cool dynamic they have here now. I hope that they never do I was just pretending to be your son so I could get ahead heel turn. I want him to just be this entitled, little prick and not actually be the whole giant, like it was all a setup.
I wouldn't mind if Kurt Angle had pretended that it was his son, like they were in on it together.
Well, that's interesting too.
Up next, Paige defeated Sasha Banks. Now, I want to say this is a very interesting method in which WWE took a woman who hadn't wrestled in a year and a half. They didn't put her on a live event. They didn't put her in a 6-woman tag. They didn't put her in a multiple-person match. They had her go one-on-one, 15, 16 minutes with Sasha Banks. That is right into that's sink or swim, right off the bat. And I thought she was rusty to begin with, which was to be expected, especially with her selling. That didn't last, though. I really liked this match.
Yeah, she fell right back into that groove. It's cool to have her back. Like she has a different energy about her in the ring than anybody else on Raw or SmackDown. And it's just kind of cool to have that back as a possibility. I'm all for seeing her in the ring versus Alexa Bliss and Bayley. Honestly, I feel like she's the perfect foil to get Bayley back on track. I just don't know if that's in their plans of a real feud between the two of them, at least anytime soon. But I really enjoyed the match, and I love that it got a long time. My God, there were like 3 matches total in the first hour and a half of this show.
And they were all great. They were all awesome pay-per-view quality matches. All great.
So
let's talk about this match. Sasha bumped her ass out for Paige.
Oh, man.
Paige, I did not see taking a lot of huge back bumps. And that includes a spot to the outside where she landed on like her feet and rolled. So this includes a big, big sunset flip powerbomb that just looked really bad for Sasha. The match breaks down outside, causes the distraction. Paige gets the win. This was real good stuff. A great way to reintroduce Paige. I liked it. And I don't like a lot right now because the Steelers just tied the Bengals on Monday Night Football. But
no.
I'll let you share your thoughts on the match, not the game.
Yeah. The match was really, really good. And, as much as I honestly don't understand how you have 2 trios entering on separate brands with a goth leader, a brunette tough chick, and a blonde fitness model, and they're not connected, like it's the laziest writing ever. I can still like them each like on their own. I like what's going on SmackDown so far, and I like this. But the fact that like it was kind of like we're doing the same thing on both shows feels like, I don't like that.
I don't either, and we'll find out where it goes. But yeah, Alexa was on commentary. She pieced out after all this too. Don't know the significance of that, but I hope they circle back. Enzo runs down the Zoe train backstage, and then Nia Jax shows up and hits on Enzo for perhaps the biggest goddamn pop of her career. By the way, Enzo is on Straight to the Source with Corey Graves next week. That should be hilarious.
Yeah. I've been wondering how they were going to figure out a way of getting Nia away from this absolution deal. Honestly, felt like it would be kind of cool if she joined them. But I didn't expect this. I didn't expect her to take the Alicia Fox Memorial, like foray into 205 Live. Somebody was like, oh, does this mean we're going to get...
Enzo's a double champion on 205 Live now.
Yeah. Does this mean we're going to have Nia Jax as Cruiserweight champion? I was like, no, she doesn't make the weight limit.
And she does not make the weight limit.
So I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm interested to see where it goes. But yeah, you have to keep her as far away from this absolution deal as possible, at least for the time being, because I don't buy her losing to Paige. and a little lackey. He's going to hit on Enzo randomly.
I'm interested to see where it goes. WWE Cruiserweight Contender Tournament. The first round is ironically the finals of the tournament as well. Well, semifinal. I don't know what the hell you'd call it, but
whatever.
Qualifying match, whatever the shit it is.
Yeah.
There's a very cool double kip up spot. Cedric dives over the top rope with a great tope con hilo. But I'm a little more partial to this kick he did off the apron where he set up, I think, Gulak, ran off the apron and kicked, and WWE production couldn't keep up with it.
Yep.
Awesome action. I say it every time they do these multiple person matches. It's the way to build the cruiserweight division and get people interested because the crowd was hot for this match. Mustafa Ali does a really cool rolling face buster. The only time a handspring makes sense to me is like off of an Irish whip, and that's when Cedric did it, so I like that. I do not like Tower of Doom spots. I'm done with them for a while, but I did like that they switched it up with Gulak for a little bit by pushing him into the turnbuckle. Cedric has some like really great counters and an even greater C4, and then Mustafa Ali one-ups him with a Spanish fly. Drew Gulak steals the victory. After those first two matches that happened, especially that opening match, it was going to be hard to get match of the night. And even the tag title match at the end of the night. The Cruiserweights did it. And it has not been often that I've been able to say that on a WWE show, whether it be a pay-per-view or Raw, that the Cruiserweights got match of the night. This was incredible. This was awesome. This is how you highlight the Cruiserweights. You might not get any big superstars out of it, but you entertain fans for a good 10 to 20-minute block of a 3-hour show.
Yeah, this is exactly how you do the Cruiserweights. You do it like this. You give them something to fight for every time. You know, a shot at the number one contendership. That's something that they, like, because we don't have real storylines built up. At least we don't have them on, on a show anybody watches. Like 205 Live is, I think, really great. The match quality. Some of the promos take too long. But sometimes they have the, the dreaded rest hold in the middle of a cruiserweight match. But the stuff they built up last week for Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, these two guys are not only two of the most talented in-ring performers you have, but go back and watch their Fallout video after 205 Live last week. These two guys are probably two of the top 10 actors you have in the company. Like, they had this really great, very natural back and forth argument in the interview backstage. I think that they're both like if these two guys were in NXT right now, they could be top contenders for their top title. But because they're on the main roster, they have to be shunted over to the Purple Show. And that's criminal. You know what I mean? Like, you have guys down in NXT who are doing amazing stuff, fighting among the heavyweights. Like, Hideo Itami's coming to 205 Live. And he just got done having an awesome feud with Cassius Ohno down there. And he'll never sniff anybody over 205 pounds in the main roster. I don't understand why they can't be. Let them fight for a belt of their own weight limit, but they can also fight other guys.
I think especially within the tag team ranks that should happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I know the Young Bucks over in New Japan have not only tried to make themselves heavyweight tag teams, but just try to maybe abolish the IWGP Junior heavyweight tag team, because especially in tag team wrestling, that style contrast can make such special things. And in WWE, that's a great way to keep a tag team division fresh instead of splitting people up, randomly putting people together. By the way, Luke Harper went home early from this Mexican tour to be with his wife who was in early labor. So the one night that he worked the tour, do you know who he worked against?
No.
The Hype Bros.
By himself?
No.
They were still teaming together on the tour?
Yes. So Harper goes home and Rowan teams with Mojo Rawley.
I don't know, man.
That's not how this works.
No, it's not. It's not how this. Oh man, that's not good. I will tell you what is good though. The springboard Spanish fly that Ali did it was
incredible,
nuts. He did it in his Cruiserweight Classic match last year, and I was like, this dude was the alternate
We used to have Shane Helms on shows all the time. You know, he was a long-standing cruiserweight champion who helped revolutionize the ladder match when he did stuff in WCW. I mean, there were that period, that 1.5 year period between WWE, WCW, and some other places had some just psychotic ladder matches. Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Young Dragons, 3 count. Like, there a lot of athleticism there. And he said it all the time. Seth Rollins works the X Division style, the cruiserweight style in main event matches. He can do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
He ain't never done a springboard Spanish fly. That's what you need. You have to keep raising the bar, doing something different. And doing something different doesn't necessarily mean more danger, just something different.
Yeah, and I will say that although I would have loved to have seen Mustafa or Cedric win this, it's the right call to have Gulak win this, because tomorrow night on 205 Live, it'll be him gloating about having won it and Enzo trying to knock him down a peg. Plus, Rich Swann versus a heel, you need that next week. So,
somebody asks why we haven't had Shane on and haven't done pods with him. That North Carolina internet sucks. I'll just say that. He's got trash internet. I'm beating him at fantasy football this week, by the way. Elias comes out. He wants to sing a song about how LA sucks. It's a good one. He needs an iTunes album. Braun is Elias's competition and eats a guitar shot, looks at Elias, and beats the fuck out of him.
Yep.
Kane shows up on the Titantron. They got a match next week.
Hey, Braun!
Up here!
Up here, Braun!
I'm up here, Braun.
Okay. So, I love the little thing backstage where Elias wanted another shot at Roman after it was close last week. I guess that's just how this works. I almost beat Roman, so that's basically like beating everybody else combined.
Yeah.
So I should get a title shot. I deserve it. And then Kurt Angle's like, I'll find an opponent for you. And I was like, oh, he's going to fight Braun. Because now Braun is like the babyface monster that you bring out to beat up misbehaving heels. And 1A, he's stuck in a feud with a soon-to-be retired mayoral candidate who wears a mask and fake hair. It still doesn't make any sense to me why Braun isn't the guy already.
You just got to pull the trigger on that guy.
I did love to watching him. He watches Elias slide back under the ropes and run away toward the ramp. And he pauses for a second, then runs around the ring to catch him as he gets out of the ring.
I like that he's street smart. I really, really like it.
So smart. I love this guy.
That was a big Road Warriors thing. So, Asuka defeated Alicia Fox. Alicia cuts her typical entertaining promo. She got in a little bit of offense, but this match I didn't think was particularly good. Asuka wins with an armbar, which looks a lot better than the Asuka lock. But anything to add to this match, there really wasn't.
No, that was the thing. Is that once you've established last week that she taps out Dana Brooke in 2 seconds, going back to my opponent got in some offense on me, but I fought out of it and beat her in 4 minutes, that's a step in the wrong direction. Like, she should be just submitting girls like that until she doesn't.
That's how you make her the Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was beating everybody, and that's what I would have. Now, see, I was okay with the Emma thing, and I was okay with her having competitive matches. But I mean, and maybe they'll do it again. I don't know. There just was no heat for this. I'm just saying, I was okay with the Emma stuff. Love the Dana Brooke stuff. I just think if it's Alicia's not on,
they kept saying she's a former women's champion.
Yeah,
to
justify it,
legitimize her. But it also the offense that was got in was kind of sloppy. I do think I like the armbar. I would love to see like her get into the armbar from all kinds of crazy like takedowns and stuff like that, and reversals and things like make that her deal. That no matter where you come at her, she's going to get you in the armbar out of it. I think that's kind of cool. But I did honestly really like the stuff that happened after the match.
You did?
Yeah.
Thought it was the same shit that they've been doing nonstop. And maybe they're trying to really hammer it home, but Asuka left. What do you think the significance of that is? Asuka just keeps leaving.
Well, yeah, she keeps leaving because the Absolution doesn't want anything to do with her. And, I mean, to me, like, I feel it'd be kind of cool to watch Asuka kick the block off of all three of them. But that
Alexa keeps leaving too, though.
Well, yeah. Well, Alexa's the coward. She has.
Well, there's a lot. I know, but there's a lot of things here that are happening in parallel between these two shows that we are sitting here waiting for them to draw a connection to, and maybe they don't draw a connection to any of it.
Right. The stuff that I liked the most was the thing of, like, Alicia Fox was my only friend here when I left. I love this. I love this girl. And I mean, she didn't say it, but I really would have loved the line of, "I love you." And that's what makes this next part so hard for me. And then have her get blindsided, as opposed to, "I don't know if Mandy and Sonia like you as much as I do, though." Like, that's not a good line. But the sentiment of, I'm going to even friendship, like sisterhood, that's out the window. I don't care about any of that. You're in my way just like everybody else is. I liked that a lot. And I appreciated them calling back to the fact that years on Total Divas, they had a great episode of Ride Along where you could tell they were like the best of friends. I like that was used in this little segment.
So Finn Balor is the ordinary man who takes an extraordinary amount of time to defeat Bo Dallas. This 6 minutes felt like an eternity. No heat. Match wasn't good, and I've really been enjoying Finn Balor's work of late. I don't know what this did for anybody.
You know, this was the segment that didn't need to be on the show. We just didn't need. I'm like, yay for you getting Finn Balor involved.
I would have liked Tex Ferguson and what's his face beating the Miz Taraj in like Christmas outfits with like presents and shit over this.
That's coming.
Oh yeah, that'll be here.
There's no way the Good Brothers
Snowman. Oh, it is.
Frosty the Snowman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the highlight of the night. Matt Hardy is back. He is woken.
This was so great.
I just want to point out something. 4 years ago, Bray Wyatt was asked about Husky Harris on Twitter. And his response was, he needed me and I needed a vessel. Mm-hmm. That was the term. Mm-hmm. I hope it's referenced. I hope they just do it. I just hope they just do it.
Yeah, it should. I mean, listen, somebody gave this, what we saw tonight, the green light. They said, "Here, you can do this. We're putting this on the air." So this is as crazy broken as woken as Matt Hardy has been. Like, he dropped a Genghis Khan on them. The pyramids of Giza. Like, this he's gone so far from, like, remember when we were thinking, hey, he kind of laughed weird back in April? Is that mean he could be broken? No. This is what we've been waiting for.
There's no mistaking.
This was so great. I was giggling like a little child through the entire thing. Oh my God.
I very rarely say this, but this is the right spot for Bray Wyatt.
Yes, it really is.
They have already taken it to this level. Just go with it. Just go with it. Because this is an opportunity to salvage some entertainment out of this guy, because I have not been entertained by him in a long time. Let's talk about the long-lasting ramifications of this. So when I inquired, I was like, what changed? What changed? I'll tell you what changed. Vince McMahon and Matt Hardy told Ed Nordholm and Anthem to go fuck themselves. In no uncertain terms is what I was told. And Alex, I will give you the direct source off air. That way maybe next week you can come back and you can be like, oh, that makes sense. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Like maybe Ed Nordholm's not afraid of Matt Hardy, but he's sure as shit afraid of Jerry McDevitt. Jerry McDevitt does not He is the Mariano Rivera of legal. Like, if they're bringing him in, then sorry, he's got that cutter and he is putting you away. You can swing as hard as you want. You can be patient and wait.
Yep.
But he's going to strike you out. And they did that. And Alex, let's just talk about this. Have you ever seen the cartoon where Bugs Bunny is playing baseball?
Yeah.
And he throws the pitch, and the guy, like 3 straight batters, they swing 9 times on one pitch. That's what Anthem and Impact did. Because not only do Matt, Jeff, Maxwell, Rebby, and Senor Benjamin get rights to this, their current roster have rights to their personalities when they leave Impact. Now, I don't know. I haven't found out yet if this means for signings moving forward. But Laurel Van Ness asked out of her deal. Now, she doesn't need to be Laurel Van Ness because I get the feeling as many people know who Chelsea Green is as Laurel Van Ness. But an EC3 perhaps? Now, I don't know if him going to WWE as Ethan Carter III is a great idea because that seems like a great way to get ribbed on TV. But
yeah, I mean,
the long-lasting ramifications of that is just unbelievable that they went that far.
Yeah. I've been keeping up with the former TNA just a little bit. It's amazing to me that Laurel Van Ness was that girl who supposedly cheated with Daniel Bryan in that segment with Stephanie McMahon a few years ago. Yeah. Like she's gone so far. Like the it's hard to do like really crazy. Like we always say, oh, Alicia Fox, she's so nuts. But like playing actual insanity is really difficult as an actor. Everything that she did as broken, my husband left me at the altar, that whole deal as Laurel Van Ness was really, really interesting. I don't know if it was accurate, but it was never felt false. Like she was commenting. She felt like she was in it at all times. And that's really cool. That's the mark of a really great performer.
She has been a bright spot on Impact Wrestling. She's been excellent in that role. And I know WWE likes Laurel Van Ness. I've heard this from people within WWE.
Yeah.
To where they may have looked at her signing with Impact and being like, damn, well, we should have gotten on that while we had the chance. Right. That season of Tough Enough has already been arguably the most successful for them. They got Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Velveteen Dream, and they will get Chelsea Green out of that.
Yeah.
That is 4 really good, promising young talents. I'm talking still 2.5 years later in their early to mid-20s. That is awesome. Matt Hardy gets something that he can really sink his teeth into. He is fully there, whether it's broken, woken. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we get it. And there were a lot of people who thought that maybe people might not know who this is, what this is. That was not the case. It wasn't in L.A.
Yeah, at least in L.A.
There were a lot of people that were like, well, of course in L.A. Of course in L.A. I'm sorry, when did Impact run L.A.?
Right, no.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that it'll work every place, but it really worked tonight. And the reason is because he fully committed to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to find all of his deletion stuff on YouTube. Like, if you don't know who it is, your buddy or your buddy's buddy who comes over to watch Raw, they know what it is. And you watch the stuff and you go, damn, that's fun. That's what wrestling is supposed to be. Like, really fun. Like this outlandish, cool, like really unique character who says really funny things and does really cool stuff. I like it. And then all of a sudden you become a fan. Like we need more of that kind of stuff.
Somebody asked me, do they get the full broken Matt entrance as well? Even Vanguard 1, like everything from TNA. Yeah, they get it all. And I can't remember what music he used, but I'm pretty sure that was like a Rebby Sky composition.
Yeah, it was.
She legit plays piano. I interviewed him last year in his house that is so goddamn big it couldn't pick up internet where he was in front of their piano. Like, she plays piano. There are acts right now that are getting really, really smart about owning their own stuff. Moose had a very catchy theme song in Ring of Honor that he produced himself, and he was able to take it to Impact. Have you all watched Being the Elite? We post every single episode on Fightful.com, and they don't own the Bullet Club theme, but they own that hilarious and catchy Being the Elite song that their dad created. That if you Shazam the damn song, their dad's name pops up. Like, really, 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 like, wrestlers are adapting. Like, you know, I can argue all you want about independent contractor versus employee and stuff, but the wrestlers are starting to get smarter and smarter and smarter about protecting their own intellectual property, or at least putting themselves in positions where they can protect it. I had conversations with Matt Hardy last year where he laid out so much of what was going to happen or what he wanted to happen. He didn't like spoil the whole thing for me, but he said, this is what I want. I want it to be polarizing. I want some people to think it's so bad that it's good and so good that it's bad. It worked out for him, and he abandoned a really successful gimmick in Big Money Matt to do that. Like, he had a good one. He just saw a better one. And not only that, it made him money. It made Jeff money. It made Rebby money. It made their kid money. Their kid, as I've said before, if he never takes a bump in his life, in 20 years, he can show up at an autograph signing at WrestleCon and he'll have a line. Senor Benjamin will have a presence at WrestleMania weekend for somebody.
Yeah.
He'll be there. It's pretty incredible.
Somebody was saying they need to make this Bray and Matt thing go until Mania. And I'm like, you know what? So some of their feuds are ridiculously long. I have no idea if they will do that, but what I was thinking is
there are ways, like,
there is a ready-made Jeff versus Matt thing when Jeff gets healthy. If he comes back and like, I've been gone for a few months, and what happened to you? You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff they can do.
This again?
Yeah.
I thought we were past.
Either this again, or they retcon it so there never was a Brother Nero thing. And I have no idea what they're going to do. But you got to have Matt and Jeff doing cool new stuff, and not pretending to be 22 years old in 1999 more. You know,
for Jeff, it really is optional. The Brother Nero stuff, like, he's going to be as over no matter what. But for Matt, it is a necessity to have that and to be a baby face. You got to have that. You just got to have that. We spent a lot of time on this.
We did.
Cesaro and Sheamus defeated the Shield to retain their Raw Tag Team Championships. I love the press slam to European uppercut. The paint by numbers trademark WWE method of tag team matches is broken up a little bit when Ambrose is taken out. Rollins left alone. Cesaro and Sheamus have become such a second nature tag team. Like, they know where each other are. They fit there. It's great. Rollins slips on a superplex, and it was almost real bad. Like, go back and watch that. But he's such a pro, and Sheamus is such a pro that they got the bump in. Rollins rolled through, hit the Falcon Arrow. I love that spot. That's really cool. Almost gets it done. The ref calls for a main event DQ. If I were Kurt Angle, I would have threatened the ref, not Cesaro and Sheamus. Because because Cesaro and Sheamus wouldn't get out of the ring. He restarts it with no DQ, he being Kurt Angle. After a solid ass kicking, Samoa Joe comes out and attacks the Shield. This brings out Roman Reigns to chase Joe off and hit Cesaro with a Superman punch. But Sheamus steals another win. It was all a mind game against Reigns on the part of Samoa Joe. He knew what he was doing. Hot dog. Your rematch is gone if you're the Shield. What happens now? That's the real question I have. Before we talk about the match, what happens with the Shield now?
I don't know. I hope it's not like, hey, Roman, like, we're boys now and everything, but you ruined our match, and so now we're slightly pissed at you. I hope that's not the rest of December. You know, like, there's what this means is this is the problem. This is the problem that they have. This is the Poochie syndrome. Everything's about Poochie. Everything is about Roman. Like, Roman runs in, and it's all mind games of Samoa Joe to get to Roman. And that's the way that this match, like, when the first DQ happened, I was like, fart noise.
Yeah.
And then when they restarted, I was like, oh, cool, clever way to send the crowd home happy. Oh, fart noise. I'm like, no, after all of this, like, great stuff all night long, the way you end it is like okay, no, all right, that's how that happens.
If I'm WWE, I pivot. I take a look at the situation, and I pivot. Braun is the guy.
Yep.
He wins the Rumble. That's just it. He wins the Rumble.
Yeah.
He faces Brock. I don't see a lot of people complaining about Braun versus Brock at WrestleMania. And I run Reigns, Ambrose, Rollins at Mania. The first time this happened should have headlined a Mania. Should have been WWE saying, these are the three.
Right.
Because people would have bought it.
Right.
And you've got a lot of, and even then, you've got two big-ass matches. I'm talking big-ass matches.
Yeah.
They're probably doing Nakamura AJ. That's a hell of an undercard match, too. But you got Braun and Brock, and you got the Shield triple threat, and you got all these supporting characters. You got Samoa Joe, and you got Jason Jordan really emerging. You've got Finn Balor doing whatever the fuck he's going to do. Pardon my language, guys. I've been dropping a lot of F-bombs lately. You've got the women, and one of their matches at least is going to seem really big. You've got stuff that you can fill out this WrestleMania show with, but man, people are going to see right through a Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match. And we were talking off the air. By the way, guys, I have a poll up on Twitter. Myself, Alex, probably Jeff, because it'll be too hard to match up times with Anna, are going to do commentary over a past Royal Rumble. And off air, Alex and I were talking because the three that have got the most votes so far are 2005, 2014, 2015. And Alex was like, man, 2014 and 15 are like really too fresh because it's just us saying the same thing we say after every Raw pay-per-view and Raw. Damn, they really like Roman Reigns in WWE, don't they? So that's why I think 2005 is leading. Plus, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that I have info on that I can talk about. Go vote on that. But what? Okay, the match. Anything to add to that? But
no, the match.
I'm wondering where everybody goes. We still got a long time until the Rumble.
Yeah, we do have a long time. I agree with you that I want to see Braun versus Brock, and I want to see Braun dethrone Brock. They can do this very easily, especially with Heyman involved. But they're going to have to do something to repair that rivalry after that match where Braun hit him with power slam after power slam after power slam, and Brock hit him with one F5, and it was over. Like, Braun already got a shot.
I don't think they should have bastardized the F5 in the first place. That was one of the most revolutionary moves in the business. He stepped in 2002. Right. And let's be honest, guys, over the last 15 years, how many like revolutionary game-changing finishers have there been? I can't think of a lot. I can't think of many.
I remember I was watching live when Brock Lesnar made his debut, and I said, I don't think that's a real person. That person looks like a Hulk that like put on like regular people makeup. Like, that was ridiculous. I remember when I first saw him give the F5 to Rikishi, I thought, there's no way this is a possible thing that I've just watched. And that's 15 years ago, and a lot of stuff has changed, but still, he's been a beast forever. I don't think they should have nerfed the movie to begin with. I guess what I was talking about is the fact that Braun gave Brock his best shot over and over and over again and still lost the match. That's not how I would have booked it, but that's how you booked it. And if you're going to go back and do that again, you got to figure out a way of how do you tell that story, because it's hard to do like Braun the underdog. You know what I mean? Like, it's just never going to work. And the problem is that's the only way that this company knows how to book a babyface is by being the underdog. And you got to figure out a way of doing it. I'd much rather watch that than Roman versus Brock. But I want to see how they would get to it. But yeah, the other thing is that if Braun doesn't win the Rumble, you're going to have to like bend over backwards giving me a reason why he doesn't win the Rumble. Like, because that guy's the most dominant force.
2020 hindsight with Rob Gronkowski, Jinder Mahal, and Mojo Rawley.
Oh, my God.
You couldn't have figured out a way for Braun Strowman to have won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but still do that spot like with Gronk. Like, all Jinder has to do is sit outside the ring and bitch, and maybe he gets distracted by Gronk. I don't know, but Braun Strowman should have literally eliminated every single person in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Guys, we got a ton of stuff coming for you. I said it earlier today that the Royal Rumble is like our Christmas. We've got special podcasts. I'm going to release the Fightful Books It show. Me and Alex and Jeff are going to try to come together on a day to do that alternate commentary of a Royal Rumble match. Tons of features coming out. I did the Retro Rumble last year where I retro tweeted a lot of the Rumble matches. I got to go back and retro tweet 2017 because I was there for it and didn't get to do that live. So I will re-release those pieces. I will re-release the podcast with Shane Helms. That was one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done, where I walked through every Royal Rumble experience with him, what went into the Royal Rumble match, and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm scheduled to do an interview with a former WWE writer about the process of the Royal Rumble. That will be coming to the List and Your Boy, and that will help contribute to the alternate commentary that I will be doing with Alex and Jeff as well. I'm going to go all in on this. The Royal Rumble is a special time, a special match, and I know that a ton of you all look forward to it just as I do. There's a sense of optimism as it pertains to the Royal Rumble match. So definitely be around. Check that out. Head over to the forums. I've got an AMA and Ask Me Anything post where you all can just ask me anything. Whether you give a shit about it or not, I don't care. Just head over and do it. Also, I've had a lot of people asking me about a thread, which I have pinned to the top of my Twitter at Sean Ross Sapp. Go check that out. It'll give you a little insight to some of the dealings with WWE as it pertains to media, some of the hurdles and stuff. I've had dozens of people ask me to talk about that. We'll talk about it Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern on the List and Your Boy. I mean, I've dealt with it. Alex dealt with it as my associate editor. There are a lot of weird tiptoeing around things and just weird dealings and stuff like that you all will get kind of an eye for. Because there are those people who think that internet wrestling writing is just, you copy this, you paste this. There's a lot more into it, and it's going to be worth a listen. I'll tell you all that, because there are certain things that I can't legally mention names about, but I'm going to mention some things that probably as a career move I shouldn't talk about, but I'm going to anyway. Alex, what are your plans for the week? I have assigned you an Off the Track with A-Train, which people will get at the end of the week likely. But what do you got going on?
A lot of preparations for the holidays. This takes time, people, and you should see the outside of my house. I'm going all out this year because I am the holiday commodity. It's the most wonderful time of the year, as the song says, but the busiest as well. It's my favorite time of the year, but oh man, there's all kinds of crap got to get done.
Well, I know that I like this time of the year when here in Kentucky it's 55 when I walk outside.
Here's the thing. It was 60 degrees today, which is why I was outside putting up all the lights, because tomorrow it's going to be 30. And I don't like 30-degree drops in temperature. That's not cool with me.
You do have off Christmas. Anna will be joining me on December 25th. I was like, who can do it? And then I thought, wait a second, that's December 26th there.
Yep.
It's perfect. It's perfect. This weekend, guys, a little programming note. I'll do a UFC Fresno wrap-up on Sunday. I'm kind of celebrating one of our Christmases this Saturday night. I have some rare time off on that evening, but we will be here after Christmas for that special Christmas Raw. And as I keep mentioning, I want to plug these. ROH Final Battle. We're doing a podcast after that. I'm doing a solo show then, and I'm doing a show after Wrestle Kingdom 12. I'm going to wait until about 4 or 5 p.m. that evening. That way you all have time to check that out. Guys, any recommendations, anything that you all want to see, head over to our forums. Let people know. Let our media or our tech team know about it. We'll get it done. I want to thank you guys so much. Sorry, I got a little scatterbrained towards the end of the show. It's been an insane weekend if you all have been at the site. Go like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, we're out.